We are at year number 3 with the Honeycrisp Apple tree. If you've watched any of the videos from the past couple of years, you saw when I got this thing from the store and some initial planting, pruning, and possibly seeing where this thing has gone. It's doing really well. I don't want to do a lot of pruning this year, but I want to show you kind of what my maintenance looks like, what I'm looking at shape-wise and just health-wise to get this thing in a good spot. So let me walk you around the tree. It's kind of hard to see in the with kind of the backdrop of what this tree looks like, but let me show you kind of the shape currently, and we'll show you what this thing turns out to be like. Well, if you've been watching the channel over the last couple of years, you saw, 3 years ago when I bought this tree from a local garden flower store and came home with the Honeycrisp, kind of a blend, I believe, of what is it, Enterprise and Honeycrisp, and great apple. I get these all the time from the store, really enjoy them. It's been fun to watch this tree grow. So the last couple of years I've been kind of working on getting this thing kind of shaped for long-term growth, making sure the root base is covered and is growing in a good spot. So I'll go back here on the base and kind of just get rid of some of the weeds, kind of get that little circle back in a good spot. I'm not doing a heavy amount of pruning here in the winter. There's a few spots I want to go and cut it back, but there's some spots where I really want to encourage some new growth, but other spots I want to leave it and just let this thing perhaps have its first year of getting some fruit. So last year was the first year I had a few flowers. I didn't let any of those grow into apples, but kind of want to continue to let that tree mature, but I think I'm ready to see if we can get something this year. So hopefully with some of the local trees I've got here, the right pollination will happen and we'll see what happens. But as I look back at this tree, there's been a few things that kind of strategy-wise I've been looking at. I do want to get some good healthy branches that are kind of going out at like kind of a 60-degree angle or so, kind of creating a bowl shape. But I've wanted to get this thing a little higher up with where I have it in the yard. So I haven't fully made up my mind on this shape yet. I'm playing with this idea as it gets higher that it'll kind of go out like an umbrella. But also there's been a good central leader, and I'm starting to see some good growth with fruiting buds and things below. So I think some of those long-term will end up going away, but I'm not ready to cut all those out yet. So I'm just gonna go back right now and just look and see how does the general shape look? Are there branches that are starting to cross, or it's just too close where could be some issues as it's growing? Are there any branches kind of going inwards or crossing towards other branches? And then at the top, I'll show you, I want to continue to let that bowl shape go out and kind of take this shape as it goes. So I'll cut some of those back and encourage that to grow. But let's take a look and see what this tree looks like. So here's kind of that shape of the tree. It's got a nice central leader, and then up here's where I first cut it. So it's going to be overall long term, I think it'll be a little taller up there, but I do have my Honeycrisp Graft down here that I want to keep. So that branch, kind of, let's see if I can, this branch right here, this is my Honeycrisp. So I want to let that one continue to grow, keep shaping that one. But a couple of these low ones, I'm ready to be done with those. I want to make sure my height goes up a little higher for what I'm using with my lawnmower. I have a riding lawnmower. So looking up here at the top, this is where I initially cut that leader. And so this thing is all of a sudden, all these shot out this year. And I'm gonna let these continue to grow. Now I want these kind of going out almost more horizontal as this goes. So, but I do want to encourage that growth. So I'm gonna be actually cutting the buds that are more on the downward ones so it can hopefully continue out. So I'm gonna cut a couple of these. All right, and you can see down here I've got two branches kind of parallel. They're fine. It's probably fine on the spacing, but I do know eventually I want to raise this canopy up. I'm going to go ahead and take this one out and let that one go. And so I'm bringing this one all the way back. So thinning cut there. Possible fruit buds here, but I'm really trying to get that growth up. So thinking long term, even though this branch is healthy, it's a good spot. I do want to get this thing higher. So this thing is going to go. So a couple big prunings down there. And then I got one other one down here that with this one here doesn't need it. So it's time to bring that back up. So that right there brought it up about a foot total. All right, so not a lot of cuts this year, but did take it up a little bit from the bottom here. Did a little more heavy pruning up here just to kind of encourage that growth. And so should be in a good spot to see this thing go. So got any questions or comments, leave those in the comments, and hopefully this is helpful.